You won't believe what happens next." Mary was completely taken aback by this sudden move, standing frozen in her spot, and the wind sweeping through the valley seemed to whisper softly, adding a touch of mystery. With endless passion, had inscribed his love on peaks, leaving all speechless. To pull off this grand right love plan, Andre sought help from his friends at the construction site and decided to invite Mary for a stroll in the Alps on his 35th birthday evening. Andre wanted to show Mary something unforgettable, the breeze swaying the grass in anticipation. Andre and Mary sat quietly on the grass when, just as he finished his sweet talk, a fire lit up the mountaintop, catching everyone's attention. This was the thoughtfully planned special surprise Andre had arranged for Mary. Their love journey had finally reached a wonderful conclusion, and at last, these star-crossed lovers were officially a couple, embarking on a beautiful future together. Andre carried Mary with flowers into their cabin and gently caressed his wife like a gentleman that night. Andre vowed to cherish Mary. For a better life, he approached the foreman, took extra jobs, becoming a labor model. Seeing his boss pleased with his performance, Andre's paycheck skyrocketed, and after everyone's persistent efforts, the first cable car was quickly fresh out. The town welcomed real shops, improving the residents' lives, and the relationship between Andre and Mary deepened. But that day, Mary hurried, watching her busy husband. Mary was so excited she seemed to have a firework in her head. Soon, they welcomed their child, but their happiness didn't last long. One winter night, Andre felt the ground shake suddenly, and when he rushed outside, he found the whole valley enveloped by an invisible. He hurriedly wanted to shout for his sleeping wife, but at that moment a massive avalanche buried him in an instant, and it was only the next morning that he slowly regained. He struggled out of the snow, shouting, but got no response. Eventually, he confined his family and was found by townspeople. The next time he saw his beloved wife was at the mass in the town church, where Andre sat helplessly on the floor, as everything around him seemed to mock him. In this world, besides his deceased grandma, Andre had only Mary and the child, years of mental, physical pain tormenting this overwhelmed girl. On this day, Andre found himself wandering at the town church door every day, like a little bird that lost its way. At the church door, Andre encountered a young man in distress, and with the tavern owner's help, the seriously injured Andre began to recover. From then on, Andre developed the habit of writing letters to his wife, jotting down everything that happened, unknowingly turning into a letter. He personally placed these notes into his wife's coffin, and soon Andre's legs healed slowly as he continued to work hard at the site. That day, an accident happened at the construction site when a worker fell asleep after soaking in hot water, resulting in chaos and everyone losing their cool. To happily save her life, Andre worked hard to gather all the family together, preparing a feast that guaranteed no one would be hurt. Everyone involved was laughing their heads off. It turned into a joyful banquet. But Andre still remembered to write letters to his wife, despite the chilly winters here. Yet Andre never complained, thinking to himself, "At least I have the joy of writing." This lifestyle lasted till war's end. Andre returned to the Alps. Now middle-aged, his face bears deep marks of time. Back in town, he first paid respects to his wife with earth wrapped in hope. He placed the letters he had written over the years into Mary's coffin, then he arrived at the tavern, but it had changed drastically from the past. Andre could never go back to those past times, though the old house still stood. He could hear his grandmother's teachings echoing, yet the sweet memories lived only in front of the old house. He encountered his uncle from the past, who is now approaching his 60s and who recognized Andre from the sound of his footsteps. Though his words continued to be abrupt and overbearing, his body had the fragility of a delicate skeleton. He clung to Andre's hand with considerable effort, but Andre simply moved away in silence, displaying absolutely no reaction. Finally, with the tavern owner's help, Andre became a farmer once more, despite this being a job he least wanted, but he stuck with it for 20. Now Andre had turned grey, sporting a beer belly and ragged clothes, living a simple solitary life, yet his gentle eyes remained unchanged. As times changed and the little wooden cabin on the mountain was set to be demolished, the tavern owner still looked after Andre, providing him with shelter. However, he only lived in the lower floor, while the upper level was rented out as a school filled with adorable children and a single elderly woman of Andre's. The elderly lady, noticing Andre's hard work and kindness, extended her warm hand, but Andre ultimately declined her kindness. In his heart, he still loved only his wife, Mary. For all these years, Andre never stopped writing letters, his love unmatched. The seasons transformed like a dream, each change infused with the unique charm of nature, while Andre spent day after lonely day. He witnessed the cable cars of the Alps carrying tourists back and forth every month, feeling a vague sense of nostalgia. Through the years, Andre grew old and frail, welcoming another cold winter. Andre spotted a truck loaded with goods, filling him with delight, as it reminded him of his negotiation with death 40 years ago. He smiled in the face of aging, as life seemed to tell him that even when death approached, it couldn't quench the joy within. Now, in the dusk of his life, Andre hailed a bus in the serene town, where the breathtaking scenery of the Alps swiftly whizzed past outside the window. The blue skies, white clouds, snow-capped lakes, and wildflowers among the lush grass seemed to narrate stories of the ages to him. This natural wonder, the intersection of history and culture, made Andre, nearly 80, reflect deeply on his life through the scenery. His life was like a painting, each colour representing a different experience, weaving together his unique life story. Having experienced youthful passion and the steadiness of middle age stepping into his later years made him cherish every peaceful and beautiful moment even more. Not until he got off the bus did he realize he was truly old, wearing a thin wool coat in snow without feeling cold. Now even a breeze in the Alps made Andre shiver uncontrollably. He stood at the viewing platform. Gazing at white peaks and green meadows, past memories flooded his mind like waves. Don't forget to subscribe.